Okay students, welcome to the arrays part of the PHP lesson that we are doing. So we will be doing basically what do you mean by arrays. So we will explain you what are arrays and why we use them. Then why we need arrays, we will have a discussion on that, why we need arrays, common operations where we can use them. Then types of arrays in PHP. There are basically two types of arrays that we will be using in PHP. One is called a numeric arrays, and the other type of arrays is called associative arrays. Both of them I'm going to cover today in today's session. Then how to create arrays we're going to learn. Array operations I will do, how to store values, how to manipulate values, how to erase an element, things like that we will be doing. The latter part we're going to do built-in PHP functions I'm going to teach you. There are a huge amount of PHP array functions available, but we're not going to cover all of them. We're going to do some most important things which will be usable in your practical project. We'll go to the next slide. Basically, what are arrays? Now we know at the very beginning of the lessons we started to learn about variables, right? You know, variable is a memory location which is used to store a value, and the stored value can be changed during the execution of the program. Just using variables we can do up to a certain level, we could do the programs, right? Beyond that point, when we do certain types of programs, we need to make use of data structures. Data structures in the sense we have different types of data structures. So the starting from arrays is one very important and very basic type of data structure. Like this, you will have other data structures available to you, like linked list, queues, stacks, so on and so forth. Detailing we're going to do about arrays, right? Before we go into the lesson, let me tell you what is an array in PHP. Normally an array is a data structure and it can store a collection of elements, which means, now you know in the diagram I have given some values, the green color boxes that you can see. All these elements can be referred by a single name. That is the most important thing. If you take variables, different variables will have different variable names. But in arrays, though you have different values, all the values are organized under one name. So when you want to refer to these array elements, you will be using the same name, but there is a way to access them. There are first, second, third. Likewise, we have 5 elements in the array. To the left of the elements, you see in blue color I have put 0 to number 4. I said there are 5 elements in the array, but you have 0 to number 4. The reason is, in arrays these are called subscripts, because in a variable when you store values, you need to manipulate that, you need to work with that, you need to access that. Just like that, in arrays, only difference is we store multiple values. Once these values are stored, we need to access them. So when you want to access them, there should be a mechanism how you can do this. So in order to access the array elements, we make use of subscripts, also known as indexes. The array elements will be referred by the index. Then you have subscripts. Now later we will be learning associative arrays. So there you will be finding the subscripts or indexes in a different form, but usually arrays, they have this form. That means each element will be referred by a number. You need to understand one more thing. If you take a programming language like Java, once you create an array in Java, the size of the array, which means the number of elements in an array, are fixed. So if you define an array to have 5 elements, during the execution of the program, you cannot make it 4 or you cannot make it 6 or further. If it is 5, means during the execution time of the program, it is 5 elements. There is no way of changing it. But in PHP, arrays, they do not restrict you to have a fixed size. You know, once you try to do implementing things like shopping carts and all by using arrays, it's easy to implement this, because you never know a customer how many items that the person is going to buy. So you can't have an array which is predefined. That means you can't have a different size of baskets. Arrays are data structures under one name. Multiple elements can be stored. The items are known as elements, and each element, if you want to refer, we use a special thing or a new figure like 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is called subscript or index. And in PHP, arrays are dynamic, which means size is not restricted. Either you can make the size smaller or you can make the size bigger. There are things that you can do with variables. There are many things that you can't do just using variables. So one good example I'll tell you, in a class, let's say we have 20 students. The teacher wants to find the total marks of the students. Now if you don't have a feature called arrays, what you would do is you will have to create individual variables for individual students. Then you have to write a very lengthy statement. Total is assigned to variable 1 plus variable 2 plus variable 3 plus so on and so forth up to variable 20. You have to have a very lengthy code you will have to write. I'm not saying it's not doable, but that's not the way to handle it. It's not efficient to do. Not just by using variables, we can't do that. So when you make use of arrays, the task becomes much easier. As I told you at the latter part of today's session, you will learn how you can find the total of an array. Now we can write a manual code for that. That is a task for you anyhow you will be doing, but there are automatic ways that you can find the total of an array with just a simple built-in PHP command. You can find the total of the array. Just sometimes you perform operations in Excel, right? So things like that you can simply, with no time, you can do them. So the latter part of today's session we're going to discuss them as well. PHP, these arrays can be basically divided into two types of arrays. So this is the information that you're learning actually, what are arrays, how they look like and things like this. So upcoming slide I'm going to start doing the code work. If you take arrays, basically you can divide them into two types. One is going to be numeric arrays, the other one is going to be associative arrays. Just forget about the associative arrays for a while, just concentrate on the type numeric arrays. So if you take the numeric arrays, why we call this array as a numeric? Now if you can see this one, I have created an array. Name of the array is ARR, which has 6 elements. In PHP you can store any type of value in an array. Here if you take this particular array, I have put some numerics. Fourth one is a double value, which means 5.1 I have put. Fifth one is a boolean figure, and the sixth one is a text value, string value. Now this ARR array has 6 elements. All the elements going to get referred by using the same name ARR. I will show you the code how to do that. Then each box or each element has the subscript. Now if you notice the subscript is in numbers. Since the subscripts are in numbers, we call this as a numeric array, not because the array contains our numeric values. It's very obvious the 5th and 6th elements are boolean and text values, so this array can't be a numeric array. It has multi-value arrays. But why we call this one as a numeric array in PHP? Because the subscript is made out of numbers like this. So this is the most common type of arrays. We're going to work with them as well. Now let's talk about the associative arrays. At the moment we are not going to code this now itself. We'll see how it can be done. Subscript or indexes are in words. Now take a look at that particular dark green color array. The name of the array I have put it as student. If you want to store information about a student, then you need multiple values about a student, like student number, name, address, batch number, email address, gender, age, date of birth, things like that you can have. By the time we are doing database programs and all, these associative arrays will be much useful for us to use, usable in our programs. So the summary of this one is there are two types, numeric arrays and associative arrays. Numeric arrays, index is made out of numbers. Associative arrays, indexes are made out of names or values. How to create an array? Now this one we will have to do it as a practical part. As usual, we define a variable name here, ARR. That's it. Name of the array is that. Is assigned to, you call the array function. Within these parentheses you need to pass in the values separated by commas. So each time you put a value and put a comma, that function knows that you are passing in a value for the array. So these are the array elements. I have put it in the red color, I have mentioned it, array elements. So in this array we have 4 elements according to this one. Second line is just a PRE code to make the array visible on the screen, and there are 2 commands coming, one called print r command and var dump command, right? Var dump command. So these 2 commands I will explain you. Let's create a program, array demo 1.php, right? Start the PHP code, right? So we need to create the array. So we'll say ARR is assigned to array function we're going to call. Within the opening closing parenthesis I can start giving the values, right? So I will give some mixture of values. There are 4 values from 4 data types. First built-in function that you're going to learn is going to be print r. You will be using this one just to troubleshoot or in order to see the elements inside an array. So simply inside this pass in the array name and then you're good to go. Now we will go to our browser window. Values are displayed like this, and it will be much easier if we use a pre command here. See now it will display the values like this, so it's much easier for you to observe them. There's another command called var dump. It can be used for variables also. Var dump can be used for variables also, right? So this is from var dump. You can see array element is shown and value is shown here, as well as what is the data type of that is also shown. I am creating an associative array. Usually we do a lot of array operations, then we can go into the associative arrays, but I just want you to show how it can be done. Now if you want to access a particular element, so I will comment these two because I demonstrated this one already for you, right? Let's see, I want to display the last element, which is the subscript number 3, you know, here 0 1 2 3. So if I want to display that, echo, I will use the name of the array. All the elements of the array can be accessed by using the same name, which is ARR, and I will use the value number 3 here, which is the 4th element. Output should come as hello now. So we'll output that and see. I'm going to refresh the page and you get the output as hello here. So that is how you access an element, because this is the name of the array, this is the index number. So this is going to be a bit different in the associative arrays. Now let's take a look at the associative array. ARR array, the first element I have given, the value is KIT, some registration number I have given, which is a text value actually, and there's a comma here, you can see, and you can see in front of that what I have used is, this is the arrow mark I have used. This is the arrow operator, we call this one in PHP, and we use this one to mention that it is an associative array. This is the name associated, stdno, student number shortened form, stdno is the associated name for this particular element. Second one is name, third one is age. So we have given like that. Each value is separated by comma. Let me code that one as well and show you. So we'll type same thing. ARR is assigned to same function name we use, but this time I'm going to use, you can use either single quotes or double quotes, it's up to you. Name, this is associative name, that's the symbol H123, and you can again start the second one, then I'll say name, and you can start the value like this. So in order to make it more clear, I have broken that like this, so it's easy for you to refer. Say age, then you have to say age, put like that. This is an associative array. Now print R, ARR, you don't see numbers this time, instead you will see you're going to see, instead of the index numbers, what you see is, you see the associative names for them. So this is the basic difference between those two examples. So that is the second method how you can create your associative arrays. So previous one is numeric arrays, this is an associative array. Storing a value, accessing and manipulating. Let's see how to do that. So I'll call this one as ARR operations. All these files will be uploaded to the Google Drive, you can download them. Right, now watch this. So what we're going to do is, in order to practice this one, we shall first have an array created, okay? So ARR is assigned to, it's not a must that you should use always ARR, then you can use the function array 60, 80, 100, and let's give, so we have given some values like this. There are 5 elements in the array. We'll see how we can display an element, accessing an element, how to access an element, right? In order to access an element, simply use the name of the array, then you use the subscript, either the associatives or you can use the numeric one. So this is a numeric array, so I'm going to use, so I'm going to display 80, which means the subscript I should pass in is 0, 1, 2. So if I give 2 here, that will give me the value 80 as the output. In order to output that, you have to use the echo command. So 80, I can get it displayed on the screen. We'll do a different manipulation. We want to find the total of two elements, right? So the elements are, let's say, the first element and the last element. So you will write the code like this: ARR, first element is always 0, is getting added with ARR. Last element, automatically you can calculate the last element. I will show you with the functions later. For the time being, just we will directly give, which is number 4, fifth element, so number 4. So this should give us the output as 50 if I print that, right? And then I'll print the value total there. So once I refresh that, so 50 is coming, right? So 20 plus 30, 50 answer is coming. So this is referring, again accessing a particular array element, right? So not only in the echo command, but also in an expression like this, you can simply do this one. Even you can pass in these things into a function also. You can do things like that. Okay, so this is how you can access them. I just showed you. Now let's do a small manipulation. Manipulation means let's change an element of the array, which means now the second element is 60. So we will see what would happen if you assign a different value there. In a variable, if you assign a new value, it simply gets updated. It replaces the existing value with the new value. Here what I'm going to do is something similar, but array element I am referring. So I'm going to replace the element in 20, 1500, right? So you can easily see, right? Now we need to see whether it is there. You can display like this, echo ARR arrays third element. You can try like this, or you can use the print r command as well, right? So 1500 is coming. Earlier, by the time here when we were referring in line number 13, it was 80. Now it has got replaced with the value 1500. Okay, 1500. So that is the easy way of doing manipulations. Touch a small thing here. You know, when we use data structures, we can do algorithms, like we can do a sorting algorithm. You would have heard about, or you would have studied about something called bubble sort, which means if you have been given a numeric array, which means all the elements are also numbers, and the array is not in a particular order, you can order the elements in ascending or descending order. Even this array is not in an ascending or descending order, you can put the values in particular order. When you are doing those things, there is a thing called swapping has to happen. So you need to make use of that one as well. So since I'm not going to in detail cover the algorithm and everything like that, we will do a small swapping now and see. I'm going to swap the array, which means the first element should go to the second element and the second element should come to the first element. So only that part I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the entire array. I can do it, but I'm going to do the first two elements. So I will first of all have a temporary variable, or you can have a variable called hold, and you can have either the first or the second value stored there. I'm going to store the second value, right? ARR arrays, second element I am taking. So that means 60 is taken. Okay, 60 is taken and stored in the variable hold. Now I can replace ARR arrays second element with ARR arrays first element, right? So now both values will have the value 20. Now we can replace ARR 0, which means the first element we can replace with the earlier copied value of the array, which is this one. First we made a copy of this one and we kept it in a separate variable called hold, right? And we replaced this one. Now we can simply, what we're going to do is we're going to take the original value from the temporary variable and put it in the first element. So first and second elements are getting swapped. So we will put a hr command, then we will do a print r command and see how the elements are looking there, right? So if I run this one, you will see, you can see first value is 60, second value is 20. Now it's more clear for you, you can see, but in the original array you can see first element is 20, second element is 60, but in the output you can see here with the element number that you see. So I have swapped it. Okay, so likewise you can go through one pass, that is there are passes and checks are there in bubble sort. So totally you can sort an array, right? So later you can do that and see in PHP. So there is a small thing that I wanted to show you by the time we do the manipulations, right? So how to access an element I showed you, then how to use an array elements in calculations we learnt, then how to even manipulate the values, even this one we learnt, proper one, how to swap a value, right? And directly manipulating value also we have seen. Built-in functions, some PHP built-in functions. One at a time we will take and I'll demonstrate it to you and we will see how it's done, right? Built underscore in arr underscore functions.php. Let me create an array very quickly. So this time we will take an array which is actually not in a particular order. So we'll type some values in a random mode, actually 20, 80, 30, 150, then we'll put 40. So there are 5 elements, you know, and they are not in any order, right? So we will have to order this one. Then I'm going to print the array before sorting it, print r, right? Now you can see this is how the array looks. You are not going to write your manual code like how I did now. We're going to use a built-in PHP function to sort the array. This can be useful in, we'll put a char tag there. Now you can simply say sort and you can give the name of the array. By using the word sort, it is going to sort it in ascending order, which means small value to the large value, right? So let's say whether we can see the output like that, right? Now here we again say print r. So here the original array itself is getting sorted. Now you can see the array is sorted. This is very useful for you in programs, okay? Then we will see what is called r sort, which means reverse sort. So we'll do a program on that as well. We'll duplicate this program and do it a bit faster, right? So we'll keep the array like this, but the function I'm going to call here is r sort. So it's going to be descending order, right? It's going to sort the array in descending order. So you can see r sort is the built-in function I'm using. And here you can see this is the original array. This is the array which is used. We use the function r sort. So it's in reverse order, large value first, right? So that is r sort function we saw. So the next function is going to be array sum. We'll see how to find the total of all the elements in the array. Here we'll do the work. So you can see the array elements and the total. So you can find echo and give the name of the array like this, right? Now there we go. That's the total of the array. It's coming there. Another function is there, unset. So if you want to delete a particular item, how to do that part, right? So original array we will keep it like that, right? Then I'm going to use the value unset, within brackets we give name of the array along with the element number. Now I'm going to delete 80 here, right? 80, so I should give 1 here, right? So 80 will be deleted. The arrays what is remaining you can see. There we go. This is the original array where you have 5 elements. This is the array where you have deleted an array. It has permanently gone. Now you see there is one problem, like, did you see the index numbers have not got updated? So that would be a problem. So if you are writing loops and all to display all the elements of an array, which I will be doing it now, so it will be a problem for you. So for that reason what we do is array values. So when we call the array values, we can reset the array indexes, right? So I'll demonstrate that one with the same program. And this is after printing. Then I'll again put another hr command. This time I'm going to say array values, right? Array values. So we have to pass in the existing array. Actually this returns a new array. It returns a new array, so that you can store it in another variable, or you can give the same array name, so it will replace the previous array, right? So we will do like this and we will print and see. This time I'm printing ARR2. Right now we will refresh this and see how it looks. I think we had to go, yeah. The third one you can see the this is the original one item deleted, and index numbers have got not updated. Then we updated that also. Now let's do the next part, which is going to be the count function, and I'll do it with a practical example for you, which is easy for you to understand also. So I'll keep the original array there. So we're going to learn the count function. So we should find the count here, 1 2 3 4 5. So we'll see whether we can find it. Use the function count and you give the name of the array, so it will tell you how many elements are there. So let's put an echo command and see. Let's go to the next program. There we go. So 5 elements are there in the array. Now code with a PHP for loop, where we can display all the elements of the array, and we will see in a place where we can make use of this count function as well, right? Let's see how it's done. Now what you can do is you can write a for loop like this. Start from I, starting the value is 0 because array elements are starting from 0, and it should go up to I should go up to you can call the function count ARR, right? And you can give like that, and you can increment I by 1. Right, now let's print all the elements of the array and see. ARR arrays, here you can give the I element, right? You have to give the I element, that is the loop control variable here, which is changing from 0 up to 4, okay, because the length of the array is 5, right? So for loop here I is initialized to 0, then I we check whether it is less than the number of count, which is here returning 5. So 0 is less than 5, it is true. Go inside, print the element ARR. Here now it is first time it is 0, so it will display the value 20. First output will be 20. After that, what happens is the loop will return to this place. I will be incremented by 1, so I will become 1. So once I becomes 1 is again count will be functioning, so it will be finding out the value 5. So now 1 is less than 5, it is true, so the second value 80 can be displayed, so on and so forth. It will work. So we'll see whether we can display all the elements on the screen, right? So it is displayed like that. So we'll put a command like this, and I better put each time a BR tag, right? So there we go, the array elements are displayed. This is using a for loop. We are accessing all the elements in an array. Okay, so this is how you access that. Now there's a small inefficiency in this program, let me tell you that. Because count is a function, if you have 100 elements in your array, this count function will be called 100 times. So that will be wasting computer's processing power, and it will be less efficient. So what we shall do is we will give a value like this. We can directly take a variable called length, and we can call the function count, and we can give the ARR here. And here, instead of the function calling, we can directly use the variable like this, right? Now let's try this one again. So no change in the output, but which is much more efficient than the previous program. That's what I wanted to tell you. There are another 2 things there. If you have an array and if you want to have the values, you want to take a random value out of it, let's say it's a draw or something. There are 10 people, you want to take the lucky winner, so you just want to take only one number out of it. So we'll see how to do that one, right? 6th example. All these examples you can download from the Google Drive, right? Okay, first we will see array rand. Okay. So here I'm going to call echo array underscore rand. Please make sure that you don't confuse this one with shuffle function. This is not going to randomize the array. No, we are not going to randomize the array. We're going to randomly pick one element from the array, that's it. Okay, and it's going to return a key from there, that's it. Key means index value will come. Then by using that one you can access it. Now watch this, what will return is So it is returning 0 now, so that is the first element has been returned. So each time when I am refreshing, different numbers are coming. If you store that one in a variable called r, then you can say echo arr arrays r element. Now you can see the 80th value, that means the second value has come. See, 20 different values are coming from the array, because the randomly the keys are returned from the array by using the array rand function. Okay, next one we're going to do a function called shuffle function. So this one I'm going to remove, and I'm going to use shuffle function. Then you just pass in the array, it doesn't return any value, you just shuffle the array, just say arr. Then after that you again give a print r command and see what is happening, what has happened to the array. Okay, now see, this is how it's looking. So first original array looks like this. Once it is shuffled, it is like this. So I'm going to refresh the array the page once again, and you can see each time I'm reloading the page, it is getting reshuffled, so array is getting randomized. So let's say you want to call the presenters for a presentation in a random order, so you can use that one as well. This is what I did. The code shuffle function is typed, right, and inside the function as a parameter I have given the name of the array. So the array is getting juggled, so it gets randomized. So using the print r function, we can see all the elements, how it is getting randomized. See, when I reload the page each time, it is getting randomized like this. So we learnt almost 8 functions and some other functions as well, right? And now here down here I have given a URL of the PHP documentation part. Tons of array functions are there. You will find more interesting functions relevant to arrays, and sometimes when you're doing your other assignments and real applications, this can be helpful building more efficient programs. So please pay attention to that and make a visit to this link. That's why I provide these links in the slides. So please take a visit to this. Slide number 10, we need to do a question actually. Create a PHP script with a user defined function which accepts an array. That means just like a variable, you can pass in the array for the function and returns a randomized array. The thing is, you can't use the shuffle function. Without using the shuffle function, you have to use this. You know how to do that one. Array rand function is there. Using array rand function, you have to do this, solve in that task. So this is my array here, which is have values are there, words are there. Actually they are in the alphabet order. I'm creating a function here called function shuffle array. That's the name I have given. It is accepting a parameter. So what we need to do is, we need to shuffle this one. Since we have how many elements? 6 elements are there. I will shuffle this array 6 times. Okay, so you can do it in 2 times, but strictly the question asks you not to use the shuffle function. So we're going to do it without using the shuffle function. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use a for loop first of all. To the for loop, I will use like this first of all, right? So we can make use of the count function. Then we learnt it just a while ago, the count function. Then we find the length of the array. Then we use I is assigned to 0, no problem. I less than length, I incremented by 1. So right here, next what we're going to do is, I'm going to generate a random number each time. We need to get r. So you can say array rand function I'm going to use, pass in the array which is arr. So it's going to generate a this element. We will shuffle it with the element that you have it in the this one, what do you call, array item. Okay, so I'm going to do like this. Hold is assigned to ARR arrays I element. Okay, there is no problem, I element. Then I'm going to say ARR arrays I element is assigned the value ARR arrays R, that is randomly generated place. It could be any place, that place and this place. If it is 0, 0 and randomly generated place getting shuffled. Second one and randomly generated place getting shuffled. Right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say, so we're going to say ARR arrays. Now what we'll do is we will replace this place now with the whole value. Okay. Right. So that will so this is swapping basically what we did a little while ago. So swapping we did. Now this should be good, right? And end of the thing, what we do is we say return that what we accepted the same array, we shuffle it. Then we shuffle means not using the built-in shuffle, we use the randomizing function, we shuffled it, right? And we return. Okay, we will see what happens. New ARR is assigned to shuffle array and we pass in new ARR. Seems it's stucking. We'll see what's wrong, something wrong. Yeah, I plus missing, that's the problem, sorry about that. Right, there we go. So this is one order, it's coming. So no value is getting replaced, they are just getting swapped. So you can see this is a function that we built using array rand function. We get a place and we juggle it, we just swap that one. So that is also possible in assignments and all. When you want it is asked like you to shuffle, you have to do like this, not using built-in function. Okay, hope you got an idea about that. I will quickly show you a recap what we did. Okay, so I explained you what is arrays. It's a memory location, actually it's a group of variables, it's a data structure. In PHP you can store any type of data in elements, type is not fixed, size is also not fixed. Arrays, all the elements share the same name, and if the subscript is in numbers, we call that as a number or numeric array, where we can make use of arrays, especially when you are doing this, working with data structure programs, as well as when you want to do this shopping carts and HTML form processing and all, you can do it very simply using this. And then of course about arrays, we learnt about types of arrays, numeric arrays, associative arrays also we learnt how to use them, right? But I didn't show you how to access an element in associative array. I will show that one and I'll conclude the class. So I will quickly create a program, right? So this array is not going to work for us, so we will create an array called student array. So let's store the values of a student, 3 or 4 values quickly. I'll show you all the elements of the array first. So this is the array, how it looks. Now let's say you want to access the name, so you say echo, let's say name of the student is, then you want to say student array, you have to use the subscript here, which means the index, but index we can't use numbers, you have to use the associative name, right? Now this will give you Sam. It says the name of the student is Sam, right? I'll show you one more thing. Echo the student is years old, right? So you want to put the age here in between this value, so you put I think okay, so normal way of calling this one. Name of the student is 20 years old. So watch this. This should work like this. See, it's working. Okay, so name of the array and subscript, just give the associative name, it works. So here we don't give this, right? So that results in an error, so we don't give like that, we give just the subscript, that's it. That's how it works. So we learnt about that associative arrays as well. Then array operations we've moved in. How to create, how to store, how to access, how to manipulate we learned, how to swap values we learned, built-in arrays functions we learned, sorting, sort, rsort, array sum, right? Then unset, array values, count, array rand and shuffle, and we did some exercises as well.